Hello and welcome. Dr. Andy Rosenfarb here, AcuVision Acupuncture. Today we're going to talk about a really important subject, your diet and food and how that affects your vision. We're going to talk about the AcuVision diet for healthy vision. We talk a lot about alkalizing diet here, and a lot of this conversation I want to educate you guys on acidity and alkalinity and how that it can impact your health and your vision and how we can manage that. So let's start with understanding what an alkalizing diet is. Okay, this is the main type of diet I recommend for folks dealing with issues, either acute or chronic eye issues. So the alkalizing diet avoids foods that cause inflammation, including high amounts of processed foods, refined carbohydrates, poor quality oils, saturated fats, trans fats, and high levels of salt. So pretty much junk food, processed foods. Another diet that's very close to this, that's also relatively alkalizing diet, is the Mediterranean diet. Now you guys may be familiar with that, you may have heard that. It's a very good example and a diet that I tend to stick to for myself rather. And it's a really good alkaline diet where we're avoiding processed and refined foods, and it really focuses on vegetables and fruits and lean sources of protein, like fish is a source of protein. So you guys can take some time. I'm going to dive into it a little bit, but feel free to do some research on alkalizing diet and a Mediterranean diet. Those are really the two that we're really focusing on here. I highly recommend incorporating both of those. And again, inside those diets, there are going to be certain foods that work for you and certain foods that don't. There can also be certain foods that you could have food sensitivities to or food allergies to. I'll speak to that a little bit towards the end of this presentation, but we're going to do a whole separate presentation and session on food allergies and food sensitivities, because that's a huge topic and you guys need to know about that. Very, very important, especially if you're dealing with inflammatory conditions, whether cardiovascular inflammatory conditions or autoimmune conditions and neuroimmune conditions that involve inflammation. Food allergy is going to be really, really important for that. So for some, also intermittent fasting works pretty well. Intermittent fasting, I've had quite a few patients do that over the last, it's become popular over the last 5 years or so. And again, that's where you don't eat for, most of the day, including obviously when you're sleeping at night. And then there's a certain period of time of the day that you're going to eat, whether it's, some 4 or 5, some 6-hour windows where you're actually going to do your eating. So the rest of the time you're fasting, and that's very good. I like that for people who are struggling with weight issues. I like that for folks who have high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, bad fats in the body. It's a good way to detox your body from bad fat and sugar. Especially, again, it's really good for weight loss. Now, if you're hypoglycemic, meaning you tend to low blood sugar and you burn sugar really fast, I don't usually recommend the intermittent fasting, although younger people do pretty well with it. But if you're kind of like 40 or older, I just be careful if you have a fast metabolism and you burn food fuel really fast. Just be cautious with that. And overall, I just want to zoom out for a minute. Generally speaking, when we talk about the acid-alkaline balance in the body, we want our body to be alkaline, but we want our guts, our digestive system, to be acid, right? We have hydrochloric acid, pepsin. Our digestive tract is a pretty acidic environment, and it needs to be to break down food, to make it into you and a renewable energy source for you to help your body to create energy. So again, we want to keep the digestive system acidic, and as we age, we can tend to lose the acidity of our digestive tract. That's why taking things like apple cider vinegar after cooked meals, specifically with protein, can be very, very beneficial. Again, like a teaspoon or sometimes even an ounce or a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar after cooked meals can increase the gut's acidity and aid in digestion. Now, I know that seems counterintuitive because a lot of people feel acidity in their stomach after they eat, and often that's due to low hydrochloric acid in the stomach. We'll get into that in a whole nother session as well on digestion, but I just wanted to bring that up. So again, digestive system needs to be acidic, body needs to be alkaline. How do we do that? We're going to talk about that in a minute, but first I want to talk about how and why being acidic is not healthy, and what the consequences and effects on your health is if your body is too acidic. I'm also going to give you a tip at the end of this on how to monitor your body's acidity through your saliva and your urine. All right, there's easy ways at home that you could use litmus paper, pH paper, to actually monitor that, and you can track it and log it so you can see what your alkaline acid balance is. Okay, so let's talk about functional acidosis, meaning your body tends towards acidity, inflammation. Those two will go hand in hand. If your body's acidic, it's probably going to be inflamed. So acidosis or functional acidosis is a condition where the body becomes too acidic, right? Leading to a decrease in the pH level, right? A lower pH value means you're more acidic. A higher pH value means you're more alkaline. So the fluids of the body have pretty much become, and the tissues have become too acidic. So the body maintains a delicate balance between acidity and alkalinity, and this balance is important for normal physiological functioning and health preservation. So the pH scale, that's how we measure acid-alkaline balance, is a scale from 0, which is absolute acidity, to 14, which is alkalinity. All right, the lower the number in the pH scale, the more acidic you are. The higher the number in the pH scale, the more alkaline you are. Those of you guys have pools or hot tubs or do anything with that, I know you check your pH often, so you might be familiar with this. So values below 7 are considered acidic, while values above 7 are considered alkaline. The body's pH is generally maintained within a very narrow range of around 7.4. So the blood in the intercellular fluids need to stay at a specific range. The digestive system, the saliva, can change a little bit more in the urine as well, which is why we use these as ways to actually test for our acid and alkaline, acidity and alkalinity. We're looking again into the body's extra fluids to see what's going on with that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. So acid and alkaline balance as it relates to your vision. Let's talk about that. So when you're too acidic, again, the eyes, like other organs, function optimally within this narrow pH range where you have a balance between not being too acidic or too alkaline. Okay, and what happens if your body becomes too acidic? I want to talk about that. There are a few things that we can start to see that are observable structurally and functionally within your ophthalmic system, your ocular system, that will give us clues about this. So what can happen when the body becomes too acidic? Well, the first thing is you can see corneal changes, right? The cornea is the outermost part of our eye that covers the lens. And the cornea, again, is this transparent part of the front of the eye that really helps focus light onto the retina. Changes in the pH level of the body can influence the pH of the tear film that covers the cornea, right? Your tears, we call that a tear film. And it partially can affect the clarity and function, right? So conditions like conditions where the cornea starts to degrade and degenerate could be because the tears or the tear film is too acidic, right? So we see a lot of that. We can have degeneration or erosion, corneal erosion, as a result of too much acid in the tears. Also, eye drops. Sometimes people taking glaucoma eye drops or other steroidal eye drops or different eye drops can be pH low, which is too acidic, and that can cause corneal erosion. So even some of these over-the-counter eye drops can tend towards being acidic, and that can, again, cause corneal erosion. It can also create more oxidative stress, right? We said acidity creates more inflammation. It can also create accelerated oxidative stress, which of course can result in premature or accelerated cataracts, which is an oxidation of the lens. So that's the first change we see. The second change we see when we have a hyperacidity in our bodies, specific to our eyes, is we have this electrolyte imbalance, right? Electrolytes are these mineral salts, sodium, potassium, magnesium. They act like sponges to help keep fluids in our body. Too much sodium, we're going to feel puffy, our blood pressure can go out. Too little sodium or too little electrolytes, we get woozy, faint, we can pass out, our energy's low, we feel lethargic. So acidosis can disrupt, or too much acidity in the body can disrupt this electrolyte balance in the body. And the electrolytes, again, are important for maintaining the fluid balance in our body, or the water, right? They keep our water in our body. So without the electrolytes, when we become too acidic, we can dehydrate, right? Because we get void and stripped of these electrolytes, and our body simply can't hold the water in our system. So you drink a bottle of water, and those of you who like pee right away, or you got to run and urinate right after you drink a bottle of water, it could be that you don't have enough electrolytes that's allowing your body to hold the fluids, especially if you have frequent urination. Maybe you're taking diuretics or medications that are stripping your body of vital electrolytes. Or maybe you're just drinking too much water and you're getting the electrolytes out of your system. So again, the acid pH balance, if you're too acidic, that is going to definitely reduce the amount of essential electrolyte minerals in your body, and you could end up running dehydrated. You get things like muscle twitches, you can get fatigue, and again, when we have electrolyte imbalances and dryness, the eyes could dry out. We get things like dry eye, we can get floaters. The lens in the cornea as well can start to dry out. We can get cataracts again, corneal erosion, dry eye. I mentioned that's real common as well. So those are floaters. Again, we mentioned that. That's another thing that's really common. Also styes, a tendency towards infections, eye infections. Little styes that you get on your eyes. Those can be, if they're common, it means again you could have low tear or too much acidity in the fluids around your eyes. So keep that in mind. The third factor that can happen is blood flow, right? We have reduced blood flow when our body becomes too acidic because the blood becomes sludgy. Acidosis may impact blood flow to the eyes, right? Proper circulation is critical and crucial for delivering oxygen and nutrients to the eyes. Any disruption in blood flow due to a hyperacidic state can affect the health of the retina, the macula, the optic nerve, so on and so forth. So again, when we have increased acidosis and acidity in the body, that can influence the vascular system. So the blood vessels become more constricted, or they can swell, and that can disrupt the blood flow to the eyes. Also dehydration, all right? Again, we mentioned earlier the blood can start to thicken up. So the mixture, so to speak, isn't so thin, and we're going to have thicker blood throughout the body, so the blood isn't going to be thin enough to make it to throughout the whole ocular system. And again, the choroid is the smallest vascular system in the body that's located in the eyes, and if the blood becomes too thick, it can have a hard time pumping through the choroid and getting those vital nutrients and oxygen to your eyes. The final thing we're going to talk about with acidosis, we did mention acidosis can cause oxidative stress as it relates to inflammation as well. We know, again, we've talked about this so much in so many of our talks, that acidosis is associated with increased inflammation, oxidative stress in the body. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress may contribute to a whole variety of eye conditions, including those that affect the retina, the optic nerve, pretty much every eye disease. You can get floaters, cataracts, lens issues, corneal issues, vascular issues, drusen, a tendency towards eye strokes or hemorrhages. Pretty much any eye condition you could think of, acute or chronic progressive, can result from inflammatory process. So really important that you guys understand that. So when we try to improve this hyperacidic state that our body is in, diet, I found, is one of the best ways to help alkalize the body. Right? That's what we talk about this as being like an AcuVision alkaline diet. We can use food is one of the best ways, and fasting and juicing, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well, to help cool the body down. Get rid of most of the fruits and vegetables are very high in antioxidants and will help with anti-inflammatory properties as well. So let's talk about alkaline diet for optimal health overall first, and then we're going to get into specifically how it helps your eyes. So the alkaline diet, again, we talked about alkaline foods, which I'm going to give you guys information on. We have an alkaline food chart that I'm going to post inside our groups and inside our we're actually going to put it on our website in a couple of weeks, so you guys have this. But if you guys go online and you Google alkaline food chart or pH food chart, it'll come up. They're all over the place. But I will post this in our Facebook group below this link if I can figure out how to do that. But we'll definitely post it inside the group for you guys who want access to it. So again, let's look at the overall benefits of improving your health overall. First of all, let's go macro to micro, and then we're going to talk about your vision. So again, we're talking about maintaining a slightly alkaline pH in the body, systemically, not over-alkalizing the digestive system, so that we can improve our health overall. Some health benefits and proponents attribute to alkaline diet include improved bone health, right? Some proponents suggest that alkaline diet can help improve bone health in terms of avoiding things like osteopenia and osteoporosis. Why? Glad you asked. When our body becomes hyperacidic, it needs to buffer the acids. That means reduce the acidity. One way it does that is through calcium, right? Calcium is very alkaline. So if the body's too acidic, the body will actually draw calcium from the bones, from the teeth, from the bones, to help alkalize the body. We talked earlier that the body needs to be very, very specific in that 7.4 pH range to maintain this acid-alkaline balance. And even if it goes to 7.5 or 7.6, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is, the body's going to start freaking out and trying to neutralize the acidosis at all costs. One of the easiest and fastest way to do that is to utilize its own resources by extracting the calciums from the bones, keeping it in the bloodstream to buffer the acids. But the problem there is that it's going to strip the bones from the vital calcium that needs to be healthy and strong, and then it's going to deposit this calcium in different parts of the body. Right? You can get kidney stones. It could be deposited throughout the body in the eyes. You can get drusen, right? Drusen is calcium, fat, and protein buildup. It's pretty much cholesterol. So we can have plaque formations building up, sticking up our arteries. It can deposit on the brain. We can start developing amyloid plaques that can lead to things like Alzheimer's. Of course, it can affect our cardiovascular system. We could have atherosclerosis and plaque buildup on the vasculature, hardening the arteries and making us more susceptible to strokes, heart attacks, stuff like that. So when we talk about bone health, there's a whole cascade of events that can happen as a result of that really could cause severe risk to our health, from a low, slow progressive chronic or an acute episodes like heart attack, stroke, or stuff like that. Really, really important. The second benefit, so again, reducing the acid and improving our bodies through an alkaline diet will reduce the body's need to draw or leach calcium from the bones, so we can have healthier bones and not distribute unnecessary calcium and create deposits in different parts of the body. The second thing that alkalizing the body does is it helps reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, of course. So alkaline diet typically includes a high intakes of fruits and vegetables, which are rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants, of course, as we know, have anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties. And the diet that is rich in fruits and vegetables is going to be anti-inflammatory and contribute to improved overall health. So again, alkaline diet is going to reduce inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, which of course are driving a lot of your eye disease, but other inflammatory conditions in your body, aches and pains, fatigue, poor sleep, fibromyalgia, digestive issues, so on and so forth. So overall, we want to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress by alkalizing our bodies. with food and diet. So the next thing we want to talk about is kidney health. Kidney health is very, very important to the conversation of pH balance. Why? Because when we alkalize the body, it reduces the strain on the kidneys by promoting the excretion of acidic waste products, right? We're helping the body to get rid of the acids that it doesn't want. That's going to accelerate the generation. That's what acids do, right? Again, our digestive system is very acidic because it breaks food down so we can use it. If our body's acidic, we're going to have accelerated degeneration and metabolic breakdown. Right? Our body is going to break down and age faster and get sick faster. That's why, incidentally, around the holidays, you guys may know this. We just the time we're doing this video is between Christmas and New Year's. One of the reasons people tend to get sick around this time of year is because we load up on junk food, sugar, and alcohol. All of those are very, very acidic, right? And that wrenches our immune system. So our immune system is not as strong, and we're more vulnerable to getting sick, right? There's an old saying that mosquitoes are attracted to swamps, right? So if our body is acidic and swampy, viruses and bacteria and microbes are going to be attracted to that. Why? Because these microbes will feed on decaying carbon matter, right? When we pass, or when any carbon matter, when it's a plant or animal passes, bacteria will start to break it down. It's a natural process. So that's what happens with our body. When it's too acidic, we're more vulnerable to pathogens, because our body's like, oh, they're not healthy, they must be dying. Let's start taking advantage. They're opportunistic. So that's on acid. So how does the kidney relate to this? So the kidneys are very effective in regulating the body's pH, arguably one of the most effective for metabolic acidosis. Our breath deals with respiratory acidosis. Again, we have too much carbon dioxide in our body and not enough oxygen in our body. We're going to have acidosis, right? We know about this with our oceans, and they get more acidic because there's more carbon dioxide. The same thing with our body. Our body is mostly water. So the more carbon dioxide we have from not breathing enough oxygen, the oxygen carbon dioxide balances out. We're going to have too much carbon dioxide, which is going to create too much acidity. That's respiratory. Metabolically, it's the same deal. So the kidneys will help excrete the extra acids so our body pH lowers, and it's very important. And the impact of the dietary pH on the kidney function is pretty well established. So we want to make sure, again, that as we alkalize our body, it's really a kidney detox, and we're improving our kidney health overall. Very, very useful for kidney health. So if you tend towards kidney stones or kidney infections or kidney cysts or bladder infections, it could be that your diet or your system is too acidic. The other thing I want to mention inside, there's a lot of medications, a lot of pharmaceutical medications create a lot of acids in the body. So that's why it's also more important, if you're taking medications that increase your acidity in your body, to use plant-based diets and Mediterranean diet, alkaline diet, to help reduce the acid levels in your body. The other benefit is weight loss, right? As we reduce the acidity, we reduce the swelling of our body, and we're not storing as much fat and fluids and sugar in our body. So the emphasis on the whole foods, vegetables, fruits, may contribute to weight loss by promoting a lower calorie intake of junk food, right? We're not eating carbs, refined carbs, sugar, trans fat, greasy fried foods. We're getting rid of most of that because those are more acidic foods, right? And finally, your energy is going to improve, right? As our body's more acidic, that makes us more tired. It just does. So the alkaline diet will absolutely help improve energy and function, and our ATP energy. In Chinese medicine, we call that qi. It's very good for the qi or ki of the body to eat more fruits and vegetables, more whole foods, less junk food, so on and so forth. So that's it for an overview on the whole body. Let's talk specifically now how it can help your vision, how the alkaline diet in reducing acid foods and overall systemic acidity in your body is going to improve your vision. So we talked about, and some of these are going to be a little redundant, but we talked about the anti-inflammatory effects. All right, that's the first big thing we're going to notice as it relates to the eyes. A lot of these eye conditions that we're dealing with, whether it's glaucoma, eye strokes, NAION, retinitis pigmentosa, diabetic retinopathy, dry eye, Usher syndrome, so on and so forth, there is often an inflammatory component inside most of these conditions. So by using an alkaline diet, we're going to alkalize our body and reduce the inflammation also within our ocular system. So again, we're emphasizing fruits and vegetables, which are rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. The carotenoid antioxidants found in foods are going to protect the retina against blue light and UV radiation. Chronic inflammation, of course, is believed to play a major role in a lot of these eye conditions, as previously stated. So reducing inflammation through diet will absolutely have a positive effect on your vision. Again, I'm restating what we talked about before, but these are nutrient-rich foods, right? When we add more fruits and vegetables, fish, whole foods to our diet, we are consuming more nutrient-dense food and not fake foods or processed foods that may taste good and they may fill us up, but they are void of vital nutrients. All right, so certain nutrients like vitamin A, C, and E we know are very useful for the eyes, carotenoid antioxidants. Certain minerals like zinc and lutein are important for the eye's health and just may contribute to overall better vision. So having the right nutrients, having the right vitamins, having the right minerals, the micro and macronutrients are very, very important. And whole food diets like in mostly vegetable and alkaline food diet are going to benefit that. Finally, we're going to improve blood flow to the eye, right? As we reduce the acidity and reduce the inflammation and have a predominantly plant-based, not a vegan or vegetarian, unless that's what you choose to do. It doesn't have to be. A plant-based diet means that we're taking at least 50% of our food from plants and vegetables. May contribute to better overall blood flow and circulation in the body. And as we know, the eyes require really good blood flow. The retina is the highest, and the macula is the highest oxygen-consuming tissue in the whole body, and delivering more oxygen and nutrients to the retina and the macula and the optic nerve and the whole structure of the eye is, of course, going to be beneficial for the eyes. Now, so that's an overview of acid alkaline, how this is going to benefit both your vision and your whole body. There's a lot of benefit to going alkaline. Again, incorporating this alkaline diet, reducing acid foods. You will see the chart. I'm going to post it inside the group for those of you guys watching in the Facebook group. And if you're not, you want to just Google it or find it out, you can do that. And we're going to have that probably within a week or so up on our website. So the next thing I want to talk about is juicing. Juicing and fasting. We talked a little bit earlier about intermittent fasting. Fasting and juicing is one of the fastest ways to reduce inflammation in your body. A lot of you guys have dealt with inflammation, especially over the last couple of years. People have had viruses and COVID and infections, and you're dealing with some inflammatory conditions. And juicing is one of the fastest ways to reduce this inflammatory process on your body. I often people want to do fasting sometimes. Sometimes they don't like to do the whole fasting thing, but like a 3-day or 1-day, 3-day, 5-day juice fast is fine. It's a great way to take the stress off your digestive system and alkalize your body in a healthy way without putting yourself into a stressful fasting, because it can be. A lot of people aren't into fasting. It's just they like to eat, they like to have food in their system, and it's not for them. So juicing is a really good alternative to people who just don't like to fast. Or if you're like me, I don't do a lot of fasting because I burn fuel pretty fast. I have a fast metabolism. I don't do good with extended fasting. I do a lot better with juicing just because I have a faster metabolism. So what you want to do with juicing, you might want to take some notes on this. So either watch on a replay or get a pen here. So you want to choose at least 4 to 6 fruits and vegetables to juice, okay? Don't use too many sugar fruits like carrots, apples, and beets due to their high sugar content. And definitely don't use fruit juices unless they have the pulp in them, right? Because fruit juices are all fructose. That's not good. It's too much sugar. It's not good for your glycemic index, and it could be actually counterproductive. So what we want is the fiber in the pulp in the juice. That's what stabilizes and makes it safer and easier for our body to deal with the amount of sugar. It's not the fructose or the fruit in the sugar, or the fruit sugar in the fruit that's a problem. It's when you have it without fiber. Okay, so apple is better than apple juice. Grapes are better than grape juice, unless you're drinking wine. Make sure it's a good one. So let's move on. So other ingredients you want to include, and I'm going to give you a recipe in a minute for what I usually do for my eye health drinks. You want to use healthy ingredients like ginger, parsley, beets, carrots, berries, things like this. Leafy green vegetables like kale, spinach, okra, collard greens can be useful as well. I like to add superfoods like blue-green algae, chlorophyll, wheatgrass. We have a product that I use called ProGreens. If you got, actually, I'll post a picture of that for you. I don't market it as necessarily better than any other supplements. I just like it because it's very complete. It has spirulina, blue-green algae, chlorella, wheatgrass, probiotics. It really has everything. So first thing in the morning, this is what I have every day. I have a green drink. Or if I'm not juicing, I'm doing one or the other. Either I'm having a green drink with all this stuff in it that we're going to talk about in a minute, or I'll just do the superfoods. But every morning I'm pretty much having a green drink. So here's a recipe I want to give you guys. So take this down. Here is an eye health recipe that I like and I use frequently, and this is what I recommend to my patients. So kale is what I recommend. I don't like kale. A lot of people don't like kale. I'll swap it out for spinach or okra or sometimes bok choy. Use a leafy green that you like. For me, I'm just not big on kale. But some people are. If you like it, it's very, very good, very, very healthy. I recommend that. So you could throw that into your shake. I put that in parentheses because some people like it, some people don't. Definitely use ginger. Ginger is very important because it's going to help you digest the juices, okay? First thing I just want to make sure I mention is do not put ice in it. This should be a room temperature juice. If you want to keep it cool in the fridge, you can do that. Leave it out for a little while. We don't want to drink a lot of very cold juices or foods for the reason that when we put cold foods in our stomach below room temperature, it causes our stomach, all the structures in our stomach to constrict, and it reduces digestion. Our digestive juices aren't secreted, so it impairs digestion. So room temperature above is better. If it's a little cool, it's not so bad. So ginger to warm up the stomach to help improve that digestive capacity, even if some of these fruits and vegetables are a little cool or cold. Leeks are good. Garlic, it's up to you. It's your call. I'm not big on garlic either. I actually have a food sensitivity to garlic, so I don't do too much garlic. But if you like garlic, again, might not want to do that before you're going to work. Better too if you have cardiovascular issues. But some people, garlic has very hot oil in it. So hot, I mean, temperature-wise in Chinese medicine, we give a thermal nature to different foods, and garlic is pretty warming. It just can be an irritant for some people, their digestive system. Of course, it gives you the breath thing too. So again, might not be the best thing if you're going out to like an event or you're going to work or something like that where you have to engage with people. What else you want to add is parsley. Cabbage is another option. Beets for sure. Carrots. Apples, not too many. Throw like an apple in or half a small apple. Celery is fantastic. Spinach is one of my faves. Grapes, I like red grapes better than white grapes. You could squeeze a lemon in for vitamin C. Lime, if you want to do, is just as good. Again, you could use things like chlorophyll, superfoods, any of these blue-green algae, chlorophyll, wheatgrass, any of these you want to do that. Raspberries and wheatgrass. That's your formula. So you can put some of those or all of those into a blender, mix it together. If you have a juicer, get a juicer, and have fun with this. Look, if you're not a big vegetable person, juicing is awesome. If you're like, I just eat, if you're busy and you don't cook, or maybe you don't cook as much as you should or you'd like to, get into juicing. It's a real great way to just get your nutrients that you need to. I'll give you a little hack to that too. If you're crazy busy and you're just like, there's no way I could even do that. Here's a suggestion. Go to Whole Foods, get a couple of different types of juices. You can get some wheatgrass juice, you can get some carrot juice, you can get some celery juice. Just keep those in the fridge, and you can actually mix them together, all right, and make your juice. And you can make your juice for the week. And I know I said don't freeze it. Fresh juice is the best. But if you make it in little packages for the week, like little containers, put it like a paper cup or something like that, or something. I had patients put it in ice cube trays, and they take like 4 to 6 ice cubes out of these juices every day and do that and just warm it up. You can either warm it up on the stove or something like that. Don't use the microwave. Either let it defrost overnight and it'll melt by the next morning. So these just prepping recommendations for you guys to just help your lives be easier. So again, you could buy already made juice. You can freeze them if you want. If it's just 5 days, you can make 5 days worth, keep it in the fridge, and then every week make your juices. You should be okay with that. Just keep it covered because again, this is, it's fresh juice, so it is going to be susceptible to, bacteria and stuff like that. So, I mentioned we're going to get into food allergy tests. It's a big, big, big thing too for inflammation. I don't want to spend time on it now because it's a big conversation, but just keep in mind that food allergies and food intolerances and food sensitivities can also be a big, big source of acidity and inflammation for your body. So just dog-ear that conversation. The last thing I want to talk about, and I'm probably going to make a better specific instructional video for you guys this, so I just want to mention this now. You guys can, again, if you're kind of internet savvy, you can go online and find this. But there is a way, again, that I mentioned earlier that you can actually test your levels of acidity, and that is through testing your saliva. First thing in the morning, you get pH paper, which you can get online. It's like a couple of bucks, and you're going to be testing your first morning's urine and your first morning saliva. You're going to track that over 2 weeks. You can do it as long as you want, but every day if you want to do it. But this is going to let you know where your body is in terms of your acid levels, acid alkaline balance. Okay, so what I'm going to do in a very near future talk is I just decided now I'm going to give you specific instructions on that, and I'm going to create a sheet that you guys can download so that you guys can actually track that, because I want to make it easier for you guys, because I know we get a million questions about the pH test. So you can go online and find saliva pH testing, urine pH testing. Go online, find it for yourself. They send you like a graph and a chart and what the ranges are, so you can check that. I will be offering that as well for you guys if you want to check that out. Also, we're going to post the food chart for you guys to have that for your availability. So we'll have that all available for you. We will do a very specific video series or video session rather on that for you guys, so you will have that information available to you so that you know how to actually do that, what the right numbers are, what the right values, and what you're looking for. So stay tuned. Again, I am Dr. Andy Rosenfarb. This session has been about acid-alkaline balance for your diet. This is the best way to help your whole body and your vision. Again, this is a holistic strategy, all right? Whether you're at home taking supplements, you're doing acupuncture, you're doing hyperbaric, whatever you're doing, alternating current stimulation, those are all pieces to a puzzle. In this diet part, this food part, alkalizing our body is one major piece to the puzzle, all right? There's not one. I know everybody wants to believe this. We're all waiting for, the stem cell or the drug or the procedure. It's my opinion that it's not one thing that caused this whole situation to happen. It's not going to be one thing that's going to cure it, okay? So we need to appreciate that, at least where we are right now in time, that we need to look at this like a puzzle, and we add pieces to the puzzle: diet, supplements, exercise, stress management, sleep, alternating current stimulation, acupuncture, like all our therapies and everything that we're going to do in terms of the pieces of the puzzle to help support our vision as it relates to our whole body and our overall health. So I'm Dr. Andy Rosenfarb with AcuVision Acupuncture, where your vision is our mission. We'll see you next time. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.